wake up, don't take up the rough work. It's not enough to break up the gust that blows when you clockin'. Same boss that's clocking you, but you don't have time for it, no time at all. I don't get paid enough.
Hey, welcome back to the Elevation Table, Episode 5, Black Talk, Part 1. I am your host, Urshel, and I am here with my two queens, my two co-hosts, Shirelle and Noelle. Say hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Glad to be back with you guys.
All right, now. All right, so this conversation is about the Black community. We are all a part of the Black community, and I think that when we normally have conversations about the Black community, we tend to hear the same things over and over and over again. And with this conversation, I want to dive a tad bit deeper into issues that are actually plaguing us and contributing to our failures as a community. The Black community is a strong community. We've always been a strong people, and we tend to take that strength and get it to work against us somehow in this community. But I want to know how you both feel about the Black community nowadays, or as it is, or how do you feel about the Black community right now in your heart? How about you, Shy?
For me, I have to say I do have my issues with the Black community. And I feel like a lot of things in the Black community as of today and back then still coincide and exist, So technically, it needs some work, and we all have to put in the work to do it. That's all I have for right now.
Yeah. How about you, No?
For far too long, we've been oppressed, and the oppression that we had it's resulted into a negative way. I just think that our, ancestors and parents and stuff like that, they would be ashamed of it. The Black community has been, the top of the list for everything bad, and that's awful. Everything isn't bad about us. We are educated people as well, and have careers going for ourselves. But unfortunately, the Black community has been stereotyped for years, for a long time. Y'all know it. It's been stereotyped for a long time, and all of us are not loud and rowdy, but we do have some, and a lot of them, and it's just shameful. There's nothing like Black people, for one. I'm gonna say that. I'm not gonna tear our folks down, but it's just shameful of the way that it's just been there. The generations trying to see how can I put this in a good way. It's the way that they look at themselves. They're if they were to self-evaluate, I just feel like a lot of the work that our ancestors done to pave the way for us has just really went in vain.
With that being said, in the Black community, we have issues that we do talk about. Black households, fatherless children being excuses somehow, religion somehow making things better. These are things that we do talk about. We think in our general conversation of what we believe as a community will make us a better community. But the Black community tends to want someone to be the villain. They have someone else has to be the bad guy, so they have someone to blame on their issues. I'll just move straight into generational damage. Generational damage is unaddressed that have roots in slavery, and it could be multiple issues. And we don't talk about these things in the Black community, but generational damage, I believe, contributes to our inability to be as great as we can be or as we should be. So what I mean by generational damage, of course, is old lessons that may have worked back then, but don't really contribute to anything furthering or benefiting us now. You guys remember there were lessons such as, keep your head down, don't say anything, or just be happy for the bare minimum that you do have. I tend to think that the older generation, or not even think, I see that the older generation, some of them, they disregard the younger generation. And in particularly, I saw Whoopi Goldberg on The View just recently had a sit down with a bunch of other people, some younger individuals and older individuals. They had a nice conversation about politics. Now, this particularly isn't about politics. We'll get onto that later, but Whoopi is of the old mindset of you should be happy with what you do have. You're standing on the shoulders of those of us who paved the way for you. So just be happy with what you do have and don't disrespect me because I did this and I did that. And I don't believe in that. When we have that mindset, we set our community to a limit and a hindrance. So if we can't criticize our older generation, at least constructively, where they deserve the criticism, we have habits like sexism and colorism still running rampant in our community, but you have the older generation talking about don't disrespect me because I've done this for you and I've done that for you. And this, I get, aside from the issues that we normally talk about in our communities, what about generational damage do you guys feel should be addressed, and how do we start as a community to address generational damage? How about you, Sha?
Oh, with me with generational damage, when one come to mind, I know it's gonna be a topic one day, but I'm just gonna touch just a little bit on it. And that's mental health. The older generation always put it off and said, oh, nothing's wrong, he's just a little crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Without even taking somebody to the hospital to get them diagnosed to even know what's going on. It's those type of moments in life that is like damaging. Because it trickled down from people doing it. Other people doing it, and every black family started doing it. Oh yeah, Uncle Tommy, he's just like a cuckoo, and you never know what Uncle Tommy is. So it's like that to me is a problem that comes from the black community.
I dig that. How about no? How do you feel about damage?
There was a lot of don't tell.
Mm-hmm.
And children were being raped.
Oh, shit.
And a lot of people are battling and are struggling with life. Just like Miss Butterfly just said just now, it was, it's people, and relating that to mental, because I'm starting to deal with things my own self, and just the decisions that I've made that has gotten me where I am, whether it be good or bad. And a lot of people in the older generation were, people are molesting children, and
Right.
it's just not okay. It's just not
Yeah.
okay because
Mm.
that's a damage. It's a damage, and that individual, we don't know how they're suffering. Are they able to
Mm.
sleep at night? What quality of life do they have?
Yeah.
Especially if they feel like as a child they couldn't come to you because there was a lot of black women that chose men over their kids.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of um and because I know a situation now, you're you
Mhm.
choosing a man over your kids, and think
Yeah.
about the concept, and that's been happening for years. That
Yeah.
the abuse, that is a form of abuse.
It is. It is a form of abuse. It really is.
It's a form of abuse. And when you do that, you just don't know what doors you're opening. You don't know that you're causing uh, um, irreparable damage. You're
Mm-hmm.
you damaging this person for life
Yeah.
because hey mama, I couldn't come to you and tell you that stepdad was molesting,
Yeah.
and then
It,
that happens. That happens.
it,
That's
it does
my
happen.
mom.
It
Mhm.
happens. It does
Mhm.
Yeah.
happen. And the one thing, and I don't mean to cut you off, but the one thing when you
Oh
bring that
no.
up, it does bring me back to, they never really taught us to tell. Not until I started watching and Donahue back in the 80s and the 90s, then I started finding out molestation and stuff like that. And I had to look at my own life.
Mm-hmm. It was, I think it was
It was
know,
okay. It wasn't okay,
it was,
but it
it
was
wasn't
okay.
okay, but it was okay as, a lot of times it was the man taking care of the family. So mama couldn't say, stop putting your hands on my child, because then mama and them kids is out on the street, or mama getting her, her tail, beat. And it's a lot of, a lot of things or factors that
That plays
go
into that.
into it. Right. So it's that sort of generational damage is very here and now as well. You have young men growing and believing that this is, okay. And some ladies, with the mindset of, well, I can't say anything about it, or I shouldn't say anything about it. He's a man is going to be a man. Those type of things.
And what about more so often, more often than not, what we're seeing on the news is little innocent young babies are being abused and killed by the mom's boyfriend.
By mom's
That
boyfriend.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
that is a part of that generational curse.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
That's a part of that.
That is one of many sorts of generational damages that we have as a community. We have a lot of lessons that we have instilled within ourselves that we carry today that harm us as a community. I think, we need to, as far as addressing it is concerned, I think we have to start where our leaders are. Whoever we consider our leaders to be. We have these new leaders, Sean King, Consciously on Instagram, and others that I really want to name, but I can't even begin to think of their name at the moment. But religious leaders, we have educational leaders. We need to start with these individuals and actually begin the repairing of our community from the generational damage, but are also on self-hate within our community, the Black community, the disdain expressed towards our own through sexism, colorism, ageism. We have all these hatreds within our own community where we are pitted against each other. We have the older generation disregarding the younger generation. We have the younger generation disrespecting the older generation. We have sexism, men, in their misogyny towards women, and women attacking men for various reasons. The completely, bonkers disrespect between the two. And we have colorism that is still rampant in our community. I saw a show, I can't remember the name of it, but I want to say it was some Love and Hip Hop. I don't know. I don't watch that type of entertainment, but there was a light-skinned girl and a dark-skinned girl, and the light-skinned girl told a story about how she didn't like dark-skinned girls, and the dark-skinned girl told the story about how she didn't like light-skinned girls, and they came together at the end of it. But the idea or the fact that this is still a thing in our community, that goes also back to generational damage, but it's also a self-hate. It was born on the plantation, on the slavery plantation,
right,
where you have slave masters. Had slave masters with light skins on the inside, dark skins on the outside. Now, not all slave masters did this, but this was a thing in some slave plantations. Some slave plantations said, I don't care who you are, light skin or dark skin, you're going outside. But in this particular instance, when it comes to colorism, it was, the light skins on the inside, dark skins on the outside. Light skins are appearing to get better treatment than the dark skins on the outside, when both in actuality had their struggles. Mm-hmm. But what had happened, translated to, was the dark skins don't care for the light skins, and the light skins not care about the dark skins, because once they start to come back together, you have a certain group who's approaching another group in a certain way because they think that now they're the enemy because they get this special treatment. So bring it to now of dark-skinned queens feeling abused by light-skinned queens, and light-skinned queens feeling abused by dark-skinned queens, but they're both Black women. So,
and if you look at that, I'll add this to it. So, what slaves, regardless to you being, that goes back to the slavery plantation. And regardless to you being a house nigga, a field nigga, the maid for the inside that fed the children, the cook, whatever it was, whatever your role, whatever kind of, or they still do it today in jail. Or you the trustee, all of that is it still is definitely trickling down to today. So, and at the end of the day, you were not, either way go, you was a nigga. Whether you was bright, that's what you were to them. Whether you were bright, whether you were dark, you still was
a nigga.
You were.
Yeah.
Regardless.
You were just.
So how can you look at the other one? Oh, that's just an old field nigga. How you can't do that, and that's what's going on now. Black AB,
But
the,
it's what Massa instilled in. So for the house niggas, they felt like, okay, I'm coming in here, but Massa got them feeling this way. Massa also got the field niggas on the outside feeling this type of way. So it's all a methodical plan by Massa to sow this division.
separate.
So separate, divide, and conquer. I'm sorry. So when you have
They won't be smart enough.
to come together, you have that's in over time. You start to have some house niggas who actually feel like they are better than the field niggas, and so they approach the field niggas a tad bit differently than what they would have back then when they were privy to Massa's fucking games. But as of right now, these individuals are doing nothing but carrying on this inbred habit that, but I don't like her because she's light skinned. I don't like this dark skinned bitch because she's dark skinned. I can't tell you why, but this is what was given to me. And a lot of it's because of the lessons that were passed down to us. Oh, well, they had house niggas who were bright skinned. You had field niggas who was dark skinned, and we didn't like each other. And so what does that do? Right. What does that do to a child listening to this?
Right. Because children are taught that behavior. They're not born with it.
They're not born with it. Right.
And same thing happened, with my mom growing up. It was the whole light privilege thing that went. It just carried on.
Mm-hmm. I find that to be very disturbing. With this community, this community is rife with things like that. I saw online a post from back in the day. It wasn't too far back in the day, but it was some years ago, and we were discussing how to best deal with racism in the country. Mm-hmm. There were individuals on there, and one in particular, I call these type of individuals black elitists. The conversation was about confronting racism in this country and who's on the front line and all of that, and who's doing this and who's doing that. And this dude says to me, you're not dark enough to be in the black community. You're not one of us. You one of masses. And I found that to be very intriguing that another black person could say that to someone. Whether you're light skinned or dark skinned, as a black American, you are a black American. You are simply American. To them racist white people over there, you ain't nothing but a nigga.
That's it.
So whether you're dark skinned or light skinned, you really have no grounds to hate each other. It's that self-hate. When you look at your brother or your sister like that and say, oh, I don't like you because of your skin tone, or this about you because of your skin tone, that's that self-hate. You look at yourself. Deep down, you look at yourself and you see that's a part of you. I want to talk about faux love or fake love and fake support in the community. In this particular instance, I want to gravitate towards something more personal. So I have a company. My company is New Page Entertainment. I have no platform to launch my company. It's just there until I get the funds to actually launch it properly, or the support pushed toward it to launch it properly. I've reached out to those individuals who claim to support black small businesses or black struggling business. My endeavor is being ignored.
Would you care to share?
You know what? I would. No, I would, because honestly, if I were to remain silent, I'm upholding and supporting this act of abuse that these people are portraying or doing. So one in particular was Super from New Orleans. She has a company called Crayon Box. Um, Super went on her platform and she announced that they would be hosting a conversation with small business owners who need the exposure. Now, to me, if you say something like that to me, that means these people are struggling and they need the exposure. They need it to start their business. Every individual on that panel, they already had all that going for themselves. But when I sent her a message, my message went ignored. And to play devil's advocate, I will say that I believe that she is busy. That maybe she just does not check her inbox, or she doesn't have time to. So to give her defense, because she is a Black queen, she's doing her thing, and I support that. What I don't support is the support Black small businesses, but you actually don't support Black small businesses. You actually support Black small businesses who already have what they need, who are already doing well. On top of that, there's others, not just her, but on top of that, we have the fake love, the fake love in this community. So a lot of times you see, support Black love, and it seems exclusively regarding heterosexual Black couples. They love that. I support the shipment of 2 Black people, especially on media. When you see a Black couple, you see what I'm saying? You see a Black couple in the media on a movie or something like that, you'd be like, oh yeah, they support that. But if it's a Black gay couple, that energy is not shared. It's not the same. So it's fake to me. Let me know what you guys think, because that.
You don't want to get me started on that subject.
Boo, look, once we get into it, we goes to church on it, because it's nerve-wracking. We give all of our support to our people.
Yeah.
We support the Black small business. Hell, on this platform that we have right here, I don't charge these people anything to shout out on a blackout. I don't tell them, give me $50 and I'll shout you out on my platform to my listeners. Nah. I support you. I'm going to do what I can to send more people to you. So it's not fake on my end. We support, or let me be more precise, it's not fake on our end, because this is our thing. We support Black love. When we see a Black couple on the TV, we get happy about it. We like that. However, our same energy, or our energy, is not met with the vitality, warmth. It's not met the same. So tell me, how do you guys feel about fake love and fake support in this community when it's so rampant and ignored?
I could go on and on and on and on and on, but I'm just gonna say this: bullshit, 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 bullshit. I just feel like entertaining fake love, or just being a part of that, because I've been in it. You experience it as growing up. You go through all that, and that changes.
We all got somebody. Yeah.
Speak on it. Yeah.
We all have somebody that we can say that you say that you love me.
Mm-hmm. I think it's conditional love.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
As a sister, you love me, but this is what you did to me. So there is a whole. If I support somebody, definitely it's coming from the heart, and it's somebody not wanting to see you do better than them, and that is running rampant in the Black community. That's another generational curse. Don't want to see
love. Yeah.
and yeah,
I
like,
can I don't want to see you succeed because I'm not succeeding. That jealousy, the
right,
the
right.
the hate because it's not them in that position.
And I
Yeah.
want to say this, I've said it for years. Jealousy is the most potent form of hate. It
Mm.
is the most potent form of hate. How could you ask for support if you're not supporting? Stop being, someone wise told me this. We usually sow. Sometimes we're supposed to. That's the natural order of life is to reap what you sow.
I want to touch on something that I've noticed, but I'm not sure if anyone else has noticed. But we have a victim mentality in this community. Um, the black community tends to desire being the victim in almost all situations, whilst not offering any actual solutions or resorting to fake love, or someone has to be the villain because
Uh huh.
they can't be struggling as much as we are struggling. So we are all privy to the struggle of the black community
Uh huh.
with
Preach.
with the history of the black community in this country. Our history is not African history. Our history, unfortunately, is black American history. Our history starts when we got here, when we touched the shores of this country. So, unfortunately, it's the very unfortunate truth that that is our history. Our history is dark. It's plagued with pain and death and tears, sorrow. That is the obvious truth of our community. Our community fought for civil rights, fought to get married, fought for voting rights, for all of these things, and we got it. Now, there are things that we are still struggling with. We are still struggling with the judicial system. There are systems in this country which are rife with racism. These are things that we are still working on to dismantle. But as far as our community is concerned, we have all our rights. There is not a company or an employer in this country that can reject someone based on their race. There is not an education that can reject someone based on their race. There are certain things that can happen based on race during education, but nothing can be rejected from a black person because of race. But as of right now, there are issues going on such as LGBT plus rights started, really getting better in 2015 when we got the right to marry. What I heard from a lot of black, look at the politicians pushing this homosexual agenda. But what about black people? What about black people's rights? As if black people already don't have the right to be married or get married. But gay people, we didn't have the right to get married right off. The same benefits black people had, we did not have. There are certain things you can't benefit from that a heterosexual couple can benefit from. Right. So these are things that we're still fighting. I heard a lot of black individuals say, well, no one can have the struggle. It's only black people who can have the struggle. So how do you guys see the victim mentality in the black community? How do you feel about the victim mentality in the black community? How about you, Shy?
I see it, but I don't pay attention to it. But I do see it. It gets pointed out to me. When I don't see it, someone pointed out to me. I think it's a real problem. I think it's something that does need to be addressed. And I think black people need to get together. because y'all not the only ones with that struggle. Because what about us? What about us being part of the LGBTQ plus community and being black?
A double whammy.
So y'all don't act, y'all only see us as being a part of the LGBTQ plus community, but y'all don't recognize us as black.
Oh no, they recognize us as black when we benefit the community as a whole.
Right.
But they'll never say it was a black gay person who did that. It's always it was a black person.
And just like T.S. Madison said, she said the gays, the LGBTQ community, they are, they represent and they stand up. They fight on side by side for rights as it relates to black.
Oh yeah.
What about the black community standing up?
Yeah, I mean, I said something similar some years ago, which was they're so quick to say that the black community is always fighting for this or fighting for that, but where was everybody when the black community was fighting? First of all, the LGBT plus community has always been in every fight. Every fight.
Yeah.
And let us not get it twisted. The gay community or the LGBT plus community has been the only community fighting since the conception of organized religion. So we've been fighting the longest. The thing is, when it comes to all those other fights, we had no choice but to be by your sides. When it came to the women's fight for their rights, gay women, lesbians, trans had no choice but to be in that fight because they are women. When it came to the black community in its fight, black LGBT plus people had no choice but to be in that fight because we are black. So we had no choice before anything. And notice that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead. Because I was about to just say about a man, or what I said earlier, which was they don't acknowledge the gay individuals who fought side by side by individuals like Martin Luther King. They don't mention the gay individuals. They just say it was black people doing that. So a lot of the achievements we get ignored on just for the sake of being black.
Right, like a lot of people don't know that James Cleveland was, he was someone that was he was back during those times of struggle too. But a lot of people don't, recognize him for all of the great things he's done for his people, regardless of what he was personal. He still stood up and fought for the cause.
We do have a victim mentality in the black community where they are actively saying no one can have it as hard as we have it. We have all of our rights, but we're going to actively ignore that to tell this other individual that you ain't got nothing to be crying about. And Butterfly, that touches on something you mentioned earlier when it comes to generational damage, which is the mental health. How do you deal with it mentally when they're telling you, oh, ain't nothing wrong with you, you fine. I grew up with nothing but boys. Nothing but boys. And I mean playing in the dirt, football, wrestling, fighting. That was me. When it came to me being hurt, it was, stop all that crying. You ain't got nothing to cry about. I got that. Stop crying. That's for girls.
Yeah.
Stop crying. You ain't weak. You acting weak.
Oh, you're a punk.
You a punk. You acting like a punk. Or sissy.
Freak.
So Go ahead. Speak on it,
And the
honey.
one thing I wanted to say back to the person that told me that was, yes, I am.
It's so silly.
but you're a king, and these words are being thrown at you, and I took them derogatory back then. Now I can humble myself and say the words really doesn't bother me. But to have those words thrown at you as a kid,
Especially from people that you love, girl,
Yeah.
and that's where it comes from the most. Seem like for me, it came
Right.
from my big brothers, and and stuff like that. For me,
Yeah.
and then you're looking to your mom like for protection or something like that, and it wasn't there because deep down that
They
person feels the same way.
they feel the
So
same way. Speak on it. Speak
and
on
that's
it.
that's the hurtful part about it.
The black community is rife with individuals who desire to be the victim in every situation. You can't be the victim because black people dealt with slavery. Black people deal with police brutality. Black people deal with being called a nigger. These things. That is what they do, and there's plenty of other things that black individuals, the black community deal with. But when you tell them, if it's a Muslim telling them how they are struggling in this country, it's, oh, now you see what black people was going through. You ain't felt nothing yet, or some shit like that. If it's an Asian person, and a lot of times, especially now, a lot of black individuals are joining in on the racism aimed toward Asian individuals. Yeah, I saw a video of a black man,
Yeah.
elderly woman, kicking, stumping, punching her in this small little confined space, and it's disheartening. Because if you tell someone who's blind to the struggles of others that this is what they're dealing with, LGBT people are not federally protected from discrimination. You have LGBT rights being under attack right now. You have Asians just now getting something from the Biden administration talking about the protections and whatnot. If you tell them that, oh, well, look at what black people got to go through. They ain't got nothing to go through. Black people still dealing with this, and it's like, come on, fix your face, baby. Do better, because this ain't it. This ain't it. I want to ask you guys about the savior complex, because just as we have a victim mentality in this community, in the black community, we also have a savior complex, and it's more political than anything. When we look at the black community is political. Since our introduction to this, or our abduction to this country, our entire existence has been political, and it will remain political because that is what our history is. We have a very narrow view of politics in the black community. We barely politics beyond the presidential elections, and we look for the president to be the one to solve all of our problems, if not all of our problems. Just look at what happened with Barack Obama. He gonna do for us and this and this and that. Barack Obama was a corporate elite Democrat. The only thing he cared about was who was his donors and who were donors and who put money in his pockets. He did just what every other Democrat does, which is the bare minimum for the people. Much better than Republicans, because Republicans ain't gonna do nothing but try to take your rights away, and they support police brutality against black people. But still in all, Barack Obama was still a corporate Democrat who did the bare minimum for the people. However, that does not mean he did not do for the black community. He did do things to protect the black community from insurance vultures who would benefit from or higher interest rates to black people. He did make it easier on the education system. He did help out with the police brutality thing by giving oversight to police departments or creating oversight for police departments. Soon as Donald Trump, if you don't believe me, as soon as Donald Trump got into office, he undid all of those things. And his entire administration, they went in and they changed those things into racist institutions. Education under Betsy DeVos, they implemented racist policies that would punish black kids harsher than white kids. Ben Carson, a black man, oversaw the housing and urban development department.
You don't start me with him.
Man, you already know. He joined in with his racist friends to harm the black community in housing by allowing racist housing policies to continue. Insurance rates by corporations and pharmaceutical companies were brought back up under the administration, where they were predatory towards black individuals. There are hearings about these things. Barack Obama did what he could, but the black community tends to look for the president to be the end all be all to our problems, when in actuality, Barack Obama was attacked by the left and the right for certain things that he wanted to do. If the bottom does not support the top will not be able to succeed. Mm-hmm. So how do you view this savior complex within our community? How do you see it? Shy, you know?
You said enough for me, because I'm learning.
See, there we go. How about you know? With the knowledge that the black community, pretty much we participate mostly in the presidential elections, and we tend to look for the president to be the one to answer all of our problems, but we never consider that we need to also participate in our local elections. If we participate in our,
I was wondering what you're going now. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I feel like you're absolutely right. We should. And like you said, it don't start at the top. It started at the very bottom. So actually, it really does. So we should get out and support our local politicians. But you know, so much corruption, and people are just not wanting to put their faith in them, you know. But I mean, if you want to, you know, make a change, then it's gonna have to start from the bottom. You know, people whose roles in leadership can send it to the ears, the prayer to the ears that it needs to go to for help, and for that change. So I agree with you 100%. I think that, you know, we need to start from the bottom up and support genuinely, and start up, because the president can't fix all of our problems. And see, that's where, you know, I think that may be, and I like Joe Biden. I think that that's maybe where he's going wrong at, and because he's trying to help everybody, you know,
Hmm.
and it's he's having some problems with that. He's having pushback from this area, pushback from that area. So for
Hmm.
me, I just that's how I feel about it. The president cannot do everything.
We we need to approach it differently. As a community, we need to engage better. If that says it better.
Yeah.
We need to engage better because it's
Hmm.
okay to look at the president and say, okay, president, do your thing. You're the one who I listened to telling me that you're going to do this for me and do that for me. But the president can't do anything. Look at here in Louisiana.
Everything's
We
a
have,
joke.
we have John Kennedy. I want to say that's his name. Old, funny looking creature.
Mm.
You know, as racist as I think every Republican is racist. I don't care if you're black or anything else. If you're a right winger, you are racist. You support racism.
Mm.
John Kennedy is going against Gary Chambers. The black community, I'm hoping, is starting to break out of this letting things just happen until the presidential election comes up. The minimum of us only participates in these local elections, but we need to, in droves, just like we show up for presidential elections, we need to show up for these local elections, because that's when we start to garner change. We start to garner the better for our community with starting at the bottom. I'm so sorry. With starting at the bottom, we are undoing the damage that's been going on now. As of this year, racist white militias and groups have infiltrated city councils and school board meetings. They've not only infiltrated it, but they've affected change. They've invaded and installed their own individuals in these institutions. I have never seen a black individual in any of these situations stand up against any of these individuals spouting nonsense about critical race theory. Not one black person has stood up inside of one of these scenarios. Now there may have been some, but from what I've seen, the videos I've seen, I've never seen any videos being posted of a black person putting a racist white person in a place for spouting off some nonsense about their child being uncomfortable learning actual American history. I've never seen it. But we look for the president to do something. Get into these council meetings. Elect these council members. Elect these governors, these mayors. Elect our state representatives. Elect our senators. And once we start affecting change from the bottom up, we can start looking for change at the top.
I agree.
You know, unfortunately, we as a community, we need to address this in a much more cohesive way.
Right.
Ladies, I think this was a fantastic conversation. We touched on a lot. The engagement was beautiful. We have a lot of feelings toward our community. We are black, you know, and we have to live with the community. It's crazy when you look at our community and you see the beauty, but you can also see the ugly in there.
Yes.
And when they talk about the issues facing our community, it's always somebody else is the problem. But we never see these people dig take that, that same shovel that they're shoveling poo onto those other individuals, they never turn that shovel around on themselves and dig a little bit deeper and say, let me see what's going on with me. We have a lot of generational damage to undo. What'd you say, sweetie?
And what change you could make as an individual.
Right. As an individual. Yeah. Always so angry at somebody else being the problem, and it's never really that simple. We have too much generational damage that's unaddressed, too much self-hate, fake love being just spit out there, that it's no longer seen as fake love, is seen as a commodity at this point. If you have the reputation, you get the love. I call that conditional love because it's only at a condition that you give these people love and support. Do you guys have anything else you want to leave our people off on regarding the general topic?
No, you close out very well, brother.
Thank you. All right, ladies, it is the blackout section. The blackout section goes to a queen I know. Her name is Takima. On Instagram, you can find her at Lola Sweets. That's LOLA Sweets, and that's on Instagram. She does cake design and other treats like chocolate covered strawberries. If you want to get your chocolate covered strawberries, she does the dark chocolate, the milk chocolate, and the white chocolate, and all of that, and so nice. But Lola Sweets on Instagram. If you are in Baton Rouge, especially, I'm not sure if she ships off anywhere else, or even if that's possible, but follow her, support her, love her. She's a queen who does. Ladies, y'all know what time it is?
All right, Lola Sweets.
Yes, Lola Sweets. It is the boombox section. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
I don't think y'all ready. Oh Lord, she just said, "Are y'all ready?" Noelle, let's prepare. Let's prepare, because she came up with a question. I wonder how hard this question might be. Come on, Miss Butterfly Girl.
I remember some kind of outfit picture. She do the wrong thing.
Okay. This question comes from girl group 1992. Released a song. It won Best Video and it won Best Dance. Who am I speaking of?
Paula Abdul. Yep. And the song is "I Believe the Children Are Our Future. Treat them well and what."
That's Whitney Houston. Right.
Oh.
Okay. No,
that's my answer. That's my answer. Final.
You doing your homework, Noelle?
No, I ain't do no homework.
We can't do no homework on the line. We got to do that prior to. We got to come off the top of the brain with this. And you came up with this hard question.
That's because we don't know, but I still would stick to if I was to say something.
It's a female group.
No, you said it was a member of a female group.
No, it's a female group.
Oh. The LaBelles, that's my answer. And it's still the same song.
The LaBelles ended it. The LaBelles was 70 to her share. 70.
No. But she should have. This you don't.
She knows what she's doing. Yeah, she's that kind of. She's that kind of bitch. But I would say if I had to just take a random guess, I would say TLC.
Mm.
That's a good guess. That was good.
No, Salt and would it be Salt?
92 female group. 92 female group.
In Vogue.
Yep.
Ah!
Yep.
What song?
With a man. Would it be with? Would it be with a man?
Nope.
Hold on to your love. That's all I got.
Yep. Yep.
No, the
Hold
song
on.
was Free Your Mind. Because talking about discrimination and racism.
Ah.
Go ahead, Miss Butterfly. That was a good one, girl.
That was a good one. Audience,
Butterfly.
if you guessed properly on the boombox question, put it down in the comments below. Let us know. Not get it right. Still tell us who your guess was, because mine was Paula Abdul, Aretha Franklin, and the Bobcats. You're gonna continue getting mixed up answers like that from me from now on if you keep on asking hard questions. All right, ladies. Y'all want to leave the show off with anything before I shut it out?
Thank y'all. We enjoy you so much. Love y'all.
Thank you guys for allowing us the opportunity to be in your space and just have the talk.
All right, now. So, this has been another episode, and we enjoy you back. We enjoy you back. I didn't mean that. We enjoy you back for our next episode at the Elevation Table. Join us again and elevate to power.
I don't get paid enough. I don't get paid enough. I don't get paid enough.